Hello, I hope you're having a lovely day today. This is a Homemaker's Chats video. This is my style of videos where I'm just talking about things that I've been doing as a homemaker, ways that I'm building our home economy, and just a fun sit-down chat. But first, I have got to talk about the biggest news. I feel like I should be wearing my hat for this video. What a week. God is good. I told Scott, it just feels so good to win. Sometimes in life you have to deal with losing and disappointments, and you grow as a person when you learn how to handle disappointments in life. But sometimes it just feels so good to win, and just thanking God for his faithfulness and his goodness and his mercy and grace. And God bless Donald Trump. You know that I don't really talk a whole lot about politics. I don't listen to news or conservative talk show people because I often feel that rather than giving you practical vision for building your home, they often just show you what the opposite side is doing, which is often very demoralizing. I don't think it's great to stay stuck in the demoralization doom loop that often comes with listening to the news. All of that being said, this was a good week. It was so fun to celebrate and be excited. Praise God. I'm not going to wear this the whole video because it's going to make me hot and sweaty because it's actually quite warm outside. We wore these hats to the Trump rally. We went to the Trump rally in 2019 when it was in Lexington, Kentucky, and it was one of the most fun experiences. Scott and I it's a great memory. We loved it. It was such an enjoyable experience. That year, though, was the governor's election year between Andy Beshear and Matt Bevin, and it caused this huge divide in the state because all the teachers were for Andy Beshear, even conservative people were for Andy Beshear, who was a Democrat and just very corrupt. And that election year, the conservative guy, Matt Bevin, ended up losing. We were so disappointed. We were annoyed with people. We were angry and just felt the disappointment. And it was really that 2018, 2019 was the beginning of our journey of understanding the local economy, the home economy, and really learning that at the end of the day, the only thing that we really can control is our own lives. What are we doing to steward our own life? And once again, even though Trump won the election, we go back to, okay, praise God, this is a blessing, having, Robert Kennedy in the White House. Scott's been watching videos of saying what they're planning on doing with getting rid of all of these fake dyes, and so that's been encouraging. But bringing it back down to what we do in our own life, what are we doing, how we're spending our money, who we're giving our money to, the food that we're cooking within our own home, getting outside, getting sunshine, those are all things that we can practically do every single day. And those are the things that really matter. So then when things don't go our way, we are not victims to our circumstances, but we are still going to build our life. Proverbs 14:1, the wisest of women builds her home. And I also want to read from Jeremiah because this is the verse that Scott and I have been meditating on. Jeremiah 29, we'll start at verse 4. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, to all the exiles whom I have sent into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and live in them. Plant gardens and eat their produce. Take wives and have sons and daughters. Take wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, that they may bear sons and daughters. Multiply there and do not decrease. But seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf, for in its welfare you will find your welfare. Isn't that so encouraging? It's just the practical things that we can do. So in this Homemaker's Chats video, I'm going to share with you how I make my facial oil. It is what I use to clean my face every morning and evening, and it also takes off makeup. So I'm going to share that with you and talk a little bit about herbalism stuff. I'm going to share with you some sales that are coming up, ways that you can save money, And then I'm also going to share a fun project that I've been working on. When it comes to sharing sales, I do want to say that I never want to share sales with you. And if you have a vision for saving money to get to some goal that you and your husband have, I never want it to stir up feelings of missing out. There are always going to be sales again. So if you don't buy anything on this sale, there's always going to be another sale. But if you have been saving up to buy something, you might as well buy it when it's on sale. Or if it's something that you're going to need and you're going to have to buy it anyways, you might as well buy it when it's on sale and save money. So that is my hope whenever I'm sharing sale stuff with you, is this is when I am buying stuff for us, because I'm going to buy this eventually. So I'd rather get it when it's at its deepest discount. And if right now that's not something that you are able or want to do, spend money on, don't take it as this panic of, oh no, I need to buy this now. It's just take a breath, relax. There is always going to be another sale. So there's no fear of missing out when it comes to sale stuff. But for those of you who want to know about the sale, I'm going to share it. And I do want to say I spend a lot of time making videos. That's why I haven't been posting as much, is because I have not felt like editing. It takes a lot of time to edit videos and then upload them. But I always want to create stuff for free. I know a lot of people do memberships and Patreons, and I don't have anything against that. I think that there's a time and a place for that. My hope is that by continuing to share stuff for free, that if you use my link, that is a little bit of a payment back to me. So if you're going to buy it anyways, I would really appreciate if you use my link to buy it, because I usually get 10% of what you spend. That's generally with affiliates what it is. But to me, it's a huge blessing because I'm gonna make these videos anyways. So thank you so much. And to everyone who has bought from my shop, the tea is getting restocked. It is the very best tea, the best quality. Scott's from South Africa. This is our favorite tea company in South Africa. So thank you so much for buying our teas. And then also I want to share with you a little glimpse. There is going to be a lot of journals. So I want to post them all at once. That way you can see all the options. I never want someone to buy a journal and then the next day there is a new set and you wish you would have bought one of those. So that's why it's taken me so long, is because I'm trying to build a variety so that way you can see all the options. But this is what the Handbound journals look like. They are made completely by hand sewn, and I have two different sizes. So the sizes determine the style of pages. So the smaller size is going to be a little less cost, but they are unlined. So it's not your normal computer paper. This is still acid-free, very good quality paper. It's just blank. So for those of you who like to doodle, I personally prefer blank journals. I like being able to sketch, draw, but I do know that a lot of you like lines, and that's why I also have started making lined journals, is because for years I had many of you request lined journals. So I also have lined journals, and they are a little bit bigger in size. Actually, these are the exact same print. They're just different sizes. So this one's the unlined, this one's the lined. The lined is a little bit more expensive. You can see the pretty binding, the inside, and again, this paper is also very good quality acid-free paper. My thought with these are, I think journals are very much an heirloom, something to be treasured, and so I think it's really beautiful to be able to journal in an heirloom. And so that's my thoughts behind the beautiful journals, and making everything the best quality is that they will last. I've had people ask if they will fall apart. They will not fall apart. I've been making and using Handbound journals for, I'm trying to think, 16 years, and I've never had a journal break or fall apart, ever. None. And I've never heard of anyone telling me that their journal has broken or fallen apart or anything. So everything's handmade with the best quality. These will be up, I'm thinking, November 20th. That date I will announce as it gets closer. Thank you to everyone who buys from our shop. It is truly a blessing. I'm going to need to make some more oil cleanser. This is what I've used for years when washing my face in the morning and the evening. It's also what I use to take my makeup off, and it is the easiest thing ever. You're basically just making an oil infusion. A lot of you have asked about herbs and using herbs, making herbal tinctures and oils, and I've said before that I took a course from Rosemary Gladstar and how I don't recommend taking the course because you're paying a lot of money for something that you could have gotten out of a book. And I still stand by that. One of the top books that I recommend is this book called Heal Local. It is by Don Combs, and the foreword is by the one and only Joel Salatin, which is very exciting what God is doing with him and all of the stuff with the USDA and getting involved with that. But I met Dawn Combs years ago, and she is wonderful. She's a Christian, and I had talked to her shortly after I bought the Rosemary Gladstar course, and she actually said to me, like, courses are great, but there is nothing like doing the stuff, and so make sure you're doing the stuff instead of just studying it. She said, I know a lot of people who get wrapped up so much in the knowledge side of things, but have no experience of what works for them, and that's what herbs are all about. Our bodies are all uniquely different, so we're all going to receive the benefits of herbs in different ways. What works for some people might not work for others, so you have to experiment and see what works for you. That really stuck with me. And then she talked about the importance of growing herbs and the experience side of herbalism. It's not just head knowledge. She has years and years and years of experience. They have a farm in Ohio with a soda shop, and just so cool. Lighting in this video might be all over the place today because the sun is coming in and out. But she just has lots and lots of experience, and this is her book called Heal Local. And I noticed immediately that everything that is in this herb course that I spent hundreds of dollars on, which is now double in price from when I bought it to what it is now, she has in this book. So if you want to know how to make tinctures, she talks about it. If you want to know how to make oils, she talks about it and really makes it so simple. She gives recipes, and everything is in this book. Anytime that Scott and I have a sickness or something come up, I immediately go to the index of this book and look it up and find it in here. So with making oils, which is how I make my facial oil, she gives a very simple recipe to how to make oils the simplest way. So making the oil, I have changed this up more recently. So in the past, I only used infused calendula petals with jojoba oil, but more recently, I've been learning the benefits of infused rooibos on the skin as well. I've been adding rooibos to our hair oil because it's known to help with hair growth and hair health, but I've started adding it into my facial oil as well because there are so many benefits to your skin from rooibos. The vitamins and minerals in it are known to help reduce wrinkles, to protect the skin, to reduce inflammation, and so I've been adding that to my face oil as well. So this is our calendula petals from the garden that I just pulled off the flowers in the summer, and then I air dried them and then put them in my little glass jar. Now, skincare is going to be very unique for everyone, so this may not work for everyone. This is what works for me. Using an oil as a cleanser helps build up your natural oil instead of some cleansers that strip away your natural oils. And I say it's unique for everyone because obviously tallow is very popular right now, and a lot of people, it really helps their skin. For me, tallow does not work on my skin. It works on my hands, it works as a body moisturizer, but it is not good for my face. I break out when I use tallow, whereas Scott, his skin loves tallow. So this might not work for everyone, but this is what I use. So to make the oil infusion, I'm just gonna add some of my calendula petals, and then I'm gonna add my rooibos. So I'm gonna give you a glimpse to something that's coming into the shop. We have these wooden spoons, which are from South Africa. This one's my personal one, which we're going to use today. It has a little bit of a different handle, but these are the ones that are going to be in the shop. So pretty. I love them so much. I actually prefer this handle over my own handle, but this is the one that I've had for a while, so this one's mine. Use that to get my tea out, And again, I don't use amounts. You may want amounts, but I think whatever you want to use. So right now this is 3 teaspoons. You can see that's what it looks like. And then we're just going to cover this up. And that is it. So now I will set this in front of a sunny window for 6 weeks. You can go as low as 4 weeks, but I prefer to do 6 weeks. I may add a little bit more, top it up since I have so much jojoba oil. Actually, I'm going to. Again, this is where the intuitive side of herbalism kicks in. I put quite a bit of rooibos in there with the calendula, so that looks pretty good. And I always put a parchment paper here to separate the cap and the lid, and then I will label it with what it is, the date that I made it, and then I will sit it in front of a sunny window. And it's best to shake it every day. Realistically, I don't shake them every day. I'd like to, but I just don't. So just whenever I see, that's why I put it in a place where I will see it. That way it's like, oh, I need to shake my little mixture. And then after 6 weeks or 4 weeks, if you need it sooner, then you can just strain it. And the way that I strain it is I have my little tiny strainer. You can use any strainer, use a cheesecloth, pour it in. And the reason I like using cheesecloth is because then you can squeeze all of that extra oil out. I put it in my amber dropper tube, and that is what I use for my face cleanser. And that's it. It's so easy. Anyone can do it. There are a lot of amazing apothecary businesses out there that sell oils, and I think it's a huge blessing if you're not able to make it yourself to be able to buy it. But this is what they're doing. There are some oil recipes where they say to heat it up on the stove, and you can use those immediately. However, there is an attribute to putting heat on something that might break down some of the benefits to it. This is the more traditional way of doing oil infusions. Every herbalist is going to have their own opinion on the right way. This is just the way that I like to do it because that's the way I learned how to do it. But you could also do it over the stove as well if you want to have it for tomorrow. So that is how I make that. Okay, so while we're on the topic of iHerb and the jojoba oil being from iHerb, I did want to share with you some of the things that I buy from them in case you might need these things. I buy my castor oil from them. This is the best price that I've found. It is the Heritage Store Organic Castor Oil brand. This is one of the best brands that I've seen because it is in a glass bottle, and my mom told me that you never want to buy castor oil in plastic because castor oil is known to pull out toxins, and if it is in a plastic bottle, it is pulling the plastic into the castor oil, then you're applying it to your skin. So it's best to buy it in a glass bottle, and this is 100% cold pressed, hexane free, a very good brand, and I like buying the 16-ounce bottle because it lasts the longest. And I use castor oil on my eyelashes and my eyebrows in the evenings. Not every night, but a lot of nights I do. And then also, I'm sure you've heard of castor oil packs, and that is a way of helping aid your body. There's so much information about castor oil packs and the benefits, and I have seen the benefits of it. If you do the 24% off, it ends up being about $17 for this bottle, which is a very good price. I also get my heat protectant spray from them. I have tried homemade heat protectant sprays and it just makes my hair oily, so I don't do that anymore. I just buy, I think it's the Giovanni brand. I'll link it below if you're interested. It lasts me a very long time. I don't use heat on my hair all the time. This is my hair. This is day 2 from air dried hair, but if I do blow dry it, then I'm usually blow drying it straight, and I will use heat protectant then. So I buy that from them. I bought some of that today as well. I also buy baby gifts from them, especially when they're running a sale. Something that I try to keep on hand is a lot of baby showers that I go to, they often ask for diapers, but then you also want to get them something else. So I usually just get a little toy or something, and they have a really good selection of baby toys. They're very cute. So I love all the baby toys on their website. So I will usually, when they have a sale, buy stuff from them. And then I have a basket in our closet of gifts that I have been building up over the year as I see things that I think people will like, and I put them in this basket. And then as the time comes up for birthdays or Christmas, I have all of these gifts already prepared. And then I also have some things like baby gifts that could be used for anyone, because you never know when you're going to be invited to a shower. And sometimes it's nice to have things on hand and not have to go out and buy things at full price. Again, these are alternatives to Amazon. We don't want to give our money to Amazon, but these are alternative places that we buy stuff from. Also, I have never talked about our AirDoctor, but we do have an AirDoctor. It is an air filtration system. We bought it when we moved into this house 2 years ago. I first found out about AirDoctor from my sister. She's had hers for as long as I can remember. And when we moved in here, this house hadn't been lived in for a while. And you could tell it was stuffy. And so the moment that we came here to start cleaning it up to move in, I got online and I ordered an AirDoctor, and I don't even think I got it when it was on sale. I just bought it because I was like, this house needs something and we need to start running something as soon as we move in here. So that's when we bought our AirDoctor. It's now 2 years old, and I do notice a difference with the AirDoctor. They are having their best sale of the year going on now. I'll put a picture of the one that we had. I do have an affiliate link with them if you are interested. That will be linked below. And the final place that I'm going to talk about is Perfect Supplements. I've talked about them many times because I use so many of their things in our morning smoothies. I use their gelatin to make marshmallows. I use their collagen, desiccated beef liver powder, and they are having their huge sale next week. I'm not allowed to share details on it yet, but on Monday I will be. So on my Monday's video, I will share all the details of it. So stay tuned for that. And normally the sale isn't as good as what it would be if you buy 6 items, because if you buy 6 of the Perfect Supplement items, you get 25% off, and you can mix and match those 6 items. So normally their November sale is that same thing. Whereas this year they upped it a little bit. I will share all of those details on Monday's video, and I'll have a community box description there as well, and I'll share with you all of the things that we do with the Perfect Supplements stuff. The last thing in this video, I'm going to share with you a new hobby that I have started working on that I love: English paper piecing. It is how you make these beautiful quilts by hand stitching. 3 years ago, I was in Illinois with our friends Riley and Margot. Margot was on my slow living video. She's my friend that had really inspired me to start wearing dresses. We were staying with them. Scott was helping her husband with house renovation for a house that they had bought. And while we were there, our friends Jordan and Jared Sparks, they had friends come and visit. And so that's how I met Liz. And she is just this very creative person. She's always doing projects, painting, quilting, sewing, and so she was doing English paper piecing, and so she showed us how she did it. And I thought it was so cool, but it's like one of those things where you're like, that's really cool. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it. Well, then when I went home last, my mom started talking to me about quilting, going to this quilt shop, which is right down the street from where Scott and I used to live, and it just stirred up all this hunger in me from when Liz was telling me about English paper piecing. I had bought some of the things to do English paper piecing, but never ended up doing it. And so then after talking to my mom that week, Scott and I ended up going on a very long road trip, and I wanted to do something in the car. And from talking to my mom, getting inspiration from her with her quilt excitement from projects she's gonna make, I was like, I can do English paper piecing in the car. That's what Liz did when they were doing their road trip when I met her. So what is it? It is the beautiful, you know those hexagon blankets? That is what English paper piecing is. So these are the pieces that I made on that road trip, and then you can combine them all together and make a blanket or a table. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. Make stockings, a table runner, ornaments, all types of things. Here's all the pieces that I worked on. This was all just fabric that I had already had. What's great about this hobby, you can do it anywhere. You can carry it with you anywhere. I have this cute little yarn bag that Scott bought for me. I love it so much. You can put your yarn in it, and then it's a carry-in case, but in this case I'm using it for my I have two projects going on in it. I have an embroidery project going on. It's gonna be this pretty floral piece. I'm doing this as a way to help me learn different styles of embroidery. So I have that going on in here, and then I have my English paper piecing project. You can cut out hexagons. You can look up online 1-inch English paper piecing hexagon pattern, and you can print it out on cardstock and cut it up, or you can buy pre-cut hexagons to whatever size you like. So these are the 1-inch pieces, and then you just need to buy fabric glue. I think you can use like an Elmer's glue stick, but I have this stick that's really nice, and you just buy the refills, and basically you just take your, I should probably go into a more close-up. Maybe I'll do a full-on video of how I do it close up, but you just put glue on the hexagon and then you fold it down all the way around, and then you have your hexagon pieces with the paper at the back, and then you are hand sewing the two pieces together, but you're not catching the paper, you're catching the edge of the fabric. So normally you'll fold it over like this, and then you'll just sew it together, not catching the paper, because once you get one hexagon fully surrounded and sewn together, you can then, I'm trying to be gentle because I want to reuse these hexagon pieces. Take the hexagon out, you can reuse it, and now this is all sewn together to the other pieces. So this is how, you know, those hexagon quilts that are so beautiful, this is how they would make these. And then they obviously have the back side of the quilt, and you can either then go and get it sewn by someone else, or then you can hand stitch the front and the back together. So cool. So yeah, this has been a little hobby that I've been working on that I love, and there are so many English paper piecing YouTube videos out there that are so fun to watch. There's these English ladies that make videos and talk about what they're doing, and I just love their accent. So yeah, I think it's so fun. You can actually see, this one's probably a better picture of what it looks like. There's some pieces that I haven't sewn fully together, but it is so pretty. So this has been so much fun. Yeah, so that is everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for Monday's video, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.